Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Fun fact, almost everybody that has XRP right now, everybody that's purchased it, everybody that's holding it, almost all of them are holding for the long term. In a video a couple days ago, I ran through a few fun stats from XRP Arcade. There's actually a survey done with showing all sorts of traits of the XRP community, background, really fascinating stuff. I only covered a few of the data points, I think 3 of them, and there was something like 27. The video would have been just far too long had I gone into everything. But I want to make that the focus of this video. I'm going to run through a bunch of that stuff. I've got another list from XRP Arcade I want to share with you also. It's a list of XRP YouTubers. I've got some FUD from, what's that guy's name? Tone Vase. Oh yeah, he's a barrel of fun. Just want to run through a fun tweet from him about Ripple and XRP. And also, there's a card out there that lets you not spend your crypto. I'll explain to you what that means. That's non-XRP related news, but I'll cover that towards the end of the video. Now, before we get going, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you are a fan of Ripple and XRP, go ahead and subscribe. All right, here's a piece from dailyhodl.com, and it's titled, 94% of XRP investors hodling. Majority expect a digital asset to hit $100, says a survey. and that data point I did cover with you. I covered with you how high XRP hodlers are expecting the price to get. And there was one other, maybe how long it was going to take. I think those are the 3 data points that I covered with you. So I'm not going to read this particular article, but it did get me thinking about this again, so I pulled up the whole thing on XRP Arcade, and I thought this would be a fun thing to actually go through here. And so this was put together by Leonidas, who is on the screen here right now. I'm circling. Anyway, so 2019 XRP Arcade demographic. The XRP community survey was conducted via a Google form. Participants could only fill in the form once and were required to sign into their Google accounts to do so. The form was initially shared to the public on June 12th and remained open until July 28th. The form was embedded on XRP Arcade, and a tipper button was also added, tipping visitors that clicked it without having to necessarily fill in the form a few drops, 0.01 XRP. 474 visitors filled in the questionnaire, while 341 claimed the small tip. So I'm willing to bet at least some of you people listening to this participated yourselves. I unfortunately was unaware of this, or I would have been happy to participate, but somehow I completely missed this one, and so I'm not in this. But nonetheless, very cool results here. And as I was reading through all the attributes of the people within the XRP community as a result of this, I was thinking, oh, I fit in there or there or there. It was just kind of fun to think through, so maybe you can do that for yourself as you're listening to this. But anyway, results. The vast majority of the participants were from the United States, Australia, Canada, and Europe. This tells us that the survey only reached a specific group within the community. Okay? So you can see out of all the respondents, so there's United States, the top 183 respondents were from the United States, 53 from the United Kingdom, 26 from the Netherlands, 20 from Australia, 19 from Canada, 18 from Germany, so those are the top 6 of them anyway. Most participants were in their 30s or 40s. Now I found this interesting because I'll tell you, I'll share with you something about YouTube demographics that applies to my channel. It just made me think about it because of this specifically. So those XRP hodlers that participated, let's see, age 30 to 39, there were 158 of them, so most of them in the 30s. Second largest group, 40 to 49 years old, 149 of them in that age group. And then third, 50 to 59 years old, 74. And 20 to 29, there were 66 of them. And then 60 to 69 years old, there were 18. 70 to 79 years old, 5. And then 4 said they prefer not to say. And I'll tell you that this. I hope this you can find this inside baseball type knowledge a little bit interesting. As it pertains to my channel, of course, this is a completely XRP centric channel, so that's pretty much the only type of person that's watching me is people that are into XRP. That's what I'm into. And if I'm going to talk about something every single day, I better be legitimately interested in it. So that's why it's XRP almost exclusively. I do cover some non-XRP stuff, but if you listen to this channel, you know that it's almost all XRP. So anyway, the way it breaks down for people that follow my channel, and I'm 36 years old, mind you, so not too young, not too old. But the biggest chunk in terms of demographics of people that watch my channel, I don't know if you'll find this interesting, I just feel like sharing it, but most of them, or the biggest chunk rather, are 35 to 44 years old. And then the next biggest piece, maybe it was, it might have been 25 to 34, I want to say. And then, I don't know, there's a huge chunk of people that are, they're also in their like mid to, like, I think it was like 45, I can't remember exactly how it was broken up, it was like 45 to 55. But the reason I wanted to share this with you, first of all, I'm happy to be transparent on stuff like that. I don't know if you find it interesting or not, I'm just sharing. But as I was reading through this, it's like the people in the community, how old they are, these people that responded at least, I was like, that actually kind of matches up with my my personal YouTube demographics as far as the people that are actually watching me. So I just found it kind of interesting. Thought I'd share it with you anyway. Next, gender. Okay, let's be real. This one's not a surprise, is it? Okay, so of all the respondents, 92.8% are male. And it doesn't show the percentage, but that little tiny slice right here that I'm circling, the darker one, that's the percentage that's female. I don't know what the number is, but that's them. And so it is what it is. Look, as long as both genders have full access to like the same type of content, which they do, like, let's just be real. Like, men and women sometimes like different types of things, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nature is nature, but. Yeah, I always encourage, I don't care what your gender is, if you want to be part of crypto, I encourage you to join and jump on in the XRP community. We want you here. We don't care about your genitalia, all right? So, okay. I didn't think I'd say that word on this channel. Anyway, as mentioned above, most participants were English-speaking are from European countries. So you can see English, native language, 292, other, 47, Dutch, 32, German, 18, Spanish, 16, French 12, Russian 10, and then it kind of breaks off even smaller from there. And feel free to pause, because I'm not literally going to read every single one of these groups, because it would take way too long. But if you want to see the data yourself without pulling up the website, feel free to hit pause at any point during this video, of course, here. Only 25.5%, that's 121 respondents, were single, and almost half were married. So you can see the married crew, 47.5%. So that's a big chunk there. And then the rest is a blend of widowed, divorced, separated, domestic partnership, in a relationship. There you go. So, you know, that's what I fall in a relationship. So, hi, Michelle, if you're listening to this. All right. More than half of the participants, 51.5%, have children, with an average 1.13 children per participant. I don't know about you, but it always sounds weird when I hear about fractions of a child. So I wouldn't want to be a 0.13 of a person, but... Anyway, you know, so that's what it creates again. 51.5% have children, and the rest don't have children that they are aware of. There we go. Okay, so you can see, and so this is the chunk that is 0, and then so what's this, like 60 children average? Well, you can just pause if you want to look at the numbers. I don't want to dwell on that particular one too long. Education level. So most participants have some sort of tertiary education. Bachelor's degree, 32.3%. Master's degree, 17.7%. Let's see, we got doctorate degree. Which degree? You know what? That one actually, it doesn't have a number associated with it, so I can't tell, but it's a pretty small percentage. I would guess, I don't know if that's 5 or 6% or something like that. It's probably somewhere around there anyway. High school, there's no percentage on that either. That's a shame. I wish that they would have just branched them out so you could see what everyone was. But looks like a lot of the people in the XRP community do have higher education. Not that that's necessarily an indicator of anything. It's just kind of like take it at what it's worth. I don't think it particularly matters. I mean, because frankly, you know, like I have a college degree. I got a marketing degree. And I took a job in outside sales, and after I got my degree, I never freaking used it. And then I started my own company, and I did that for 10 years. I'm still doing that. And that's why actually I never got my master's. I was planning on doing that as well, but it really doesn't. It just, I don't want to get. I'm kind of getting off, I guess, but it just made me think of it as we're reading this. Like, from my perspective, I mean, yes, education matters, but it's like, there's a lot of ways to make money in life, and it's just so silly to me that I went out and actually did get a college degree, and then I went into outside sales, because that, like at the moment for me, I felt that was the best opportunity for me to make the most money the quickest, which led to me starting a company anyway. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really read too much into this type of thing. It's kind of I mean, you can take it for what it's worth. Maybe you find it to be an interesting metric, but I just, I don't really. I think that real world experience is more important in life in general. I tend to not judge people by their education level. So just my 2 cents on that. All right, next piece. The industries that participants work in generally vary. Which of the following categories best describes the industry that you primarily work in? So let's see some of the top ones. Information services and data processing. Okay, I guess that's probably not too surprising. Another 34 responded software, also not too surprising. Then you got healthcare and social assistance, a little surprising. Finance and insurance, not too surprising. That's 28. Prefer not to say 26. Then you've got education coming in after that at 24. And then kind of breaks down smaller numbers from there and there. Interesting. Only 8% is not working, while 5.3% is retired. Employment status. Let's see here. Which one I can't tell what the 59.1%. Oh, employed full-time. Okay, so 59.1% is employed full-time. Now, I found this one fascinating, actually. So I fall into this group. I'm self-employed. Started my company, like I said, almost 10 years ago. But 21.7% of those participants within the survey, 21.7% are self-employed. I was kind of surprised to see that, because most humans on the planet are not self-employed, but there's something about our crew what just leads to a higher percentage of us just happen, at least in this sample of individuals, that I would not have expected that. So I found that kind of fascinating. And you got a small percentage that are either homemakers or students, or I've worked but looking. And so anyway, you can kind of pause it there and take a look if you want to. Let's see. Household income yearly. Okay. So let's just start at the higher end. So over 100,000, it looks like that's 22.2%. 80,000 to $99,999. That would be 9.1%. 60,000 to 79,999, 11.6%. And then it goes down a little bit from there. So yeah, there's a chunk of high income earners here. So that's fascinating. On how they learned about XRP, most participants answered social media, while friends and family were also popular answers. Let me ask you this to everyone listening right now: how did you learn about XRP? I learned about it. It was funny enough. If you go to my first video that I ever recorded, I explained how I got into crypto in general. After I got into crypto, though, I basically went to CoinMarketCap, and I was just going coin by coin and just researching all of them, and that's how I came across XRP. And at the time, I'm pulling from memory here, but XRP might have been like, I don't know if it was like 4th or 5th in market cap. I don't think it was 3rd at the moment that I jumped in anyway. But here you can see, so how did most respond to this? Social media, 43.9%. 28.5% learned from a friend. 8.2% from family. 2.3% from advertisement, and then there's even smaller percentages from either research, TV, internet, or my own research. So I guess what would mine qualify as? My own research? I guess so. So I'm the 0.8%. I did just literally go down CoinMarketCap, and I was like, what the hell is this one? That's why I was so excited, though, when I found it. I was like, oh my god, this one's like, it's about to be used? Oh my god. It's the only one, still today, it's the only one in the commercial production of anything, literally. And so it's almost half of the participants first invested in 2017, and 10.8% earlier than that. 52.2% of participants that first invested in 2018 or 2019 have learned about XRP from social media, while 41.3% of participants that first invested earlier than 2018 learned about XRP from social media. Only 26.3% of participants that invested in XRP in 2013/2014 learned about it from social media. This indicates that the influence of social is strengthening, and crypto is becoming more mainstream. And I did find that fascinating. I guess not too terribly surprising, but I would like to make the point that the XRP community as we know it today really had its beginnings, I'd say, in 2017, which happens to be when I joined. I joined in November of 2017. And of course, the whole community goes back years and years prior to that. And those that were here first deserve credit for like paving the way, so to speak, again, and spreading the word back when they were too, of XRP. But it was really that massive influx of people that came thanks to the run-up first in Bitcoin. That drew in a whole new crowd of people. And I think that's probably why I ended up there. I wasn't so interested, not insanely about it. I was like, Bitcoin's going up, whatever. I didn't really care too much about it. But I think because there was a particular media piece that got me involved with this in the first place, I don't know that would have existed had Bitcoin not been doing what it was doing price-wise. So I suppose that's the reason that I can thank the lucky stars that I found out about crypto in the first place here. But yeah, I would definitely argue that the XRP community is very strong, very active, especially on Twitter and xrpchat.com, those two in particular. And I know they're on Reddit. I don't get on Reddit enough. I should probably get on the XRP Reddit stuff. But you can chat, and that's why I'm so not surprised to see it's almost half first invested in 2017. But yeah, I mean, there's so much more of a following here, and it's probably a lot less scary to invest nowadays relative to like 2013 when XRapid and XCurrent didn't even exist, because who else was building on top of the XRP ledger at that point? I mean, no one, right? As far as I know, nobody. There was just Ripple, and they didn't even have functioning software at that point. So it would be a lot more of a scary proposition to jump in back then. And so at this point, that's why I'm like, oh my God, we have a cryptocurrency in the commercial production of something, and some people are still freaking out about price. I'm like, give it time, it's all going to work itself out. Utility will win the day. That's my investment thesis. I think it's coming. But yeah, so 48.1% invested in 2017, and then you've got in 2018 26.6% invested, and then 2019 12.7%, and then the rest were all before that. So it seems like the majority of people, at least that responded to that. So in that particular sample, it's all within the last couple years or so, which I found kind of fascinating. But I think it's awesome. The XRP community is what it is, and it's just going to keep getting bigger. It's one of those things where I don't see it ever going away. I think a lot of us, we have so much fun participating in the XRP community that even if it gets to the point where you make a fortune and you do cash out your XRP position, there are a lot of connections that have been made through social media, and I don't know that people would want to give those up anyway. I certainly wouldn't want to. I have too much fun with this and interacting with people, so I'm one of those people that's just going to be here forever. That's my plan anyway. XRP would really have to massively fail in a spectacular way for me to not just be into this for the rest of my life. So we'll see what happens, but I think we're fine. All right, and then here's another question. Okay, so it states here, actually, let me read this first. 56.5% of participants have invested less than 50% of their net worth in crypto, while 7.6% are all in. All of the participants that are all in crypto have first invested earlier than 2018, which I find fascinating. And you guys can do what you want. I'm not going to tell you that you're smart or stupid, whatever you decide to do with your money. At least I probably won't. I mean, if you do something too wacky, maybe I'll be like, okay, you are stupid. But I don't know what that would be. So I personally am not investing everything. I put in what I'm willing to lose just on the off chance that I'm wrong, even though I feel fully confident the asset class is here to stay. And I'm Mr. XRP Bull, and I think XRP is going to be worth a fortune relative to what it is today. Even though I believe all that, just, if I were to be wrong about this, it would be so crushing if I put literally everything that I have into it, so I'm not willing to risk it no matter how confident I am that I'm right, just because it's the off chance. So to any of you that are so confident that you put literally 100% of your net worth into this, you got some cojones, right? So good for you, I guess. That's not for me, but hey, if it's for you, then cool. You do you, man. That's all right. But yeah, so anyway, so that was 0 to 24, 40.7, man. That is something. 40.7%. That's a huge chunk of your net worth to put into crypto, man. That is something. Anthony Pompliano, he's a Bitcoin maximalist. He recently announced that he put over half of his net worth into Bitcoin, specifically Bitcoin, not other cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin. He's one of those guys that just thinks there's going to be one crypto and the rest are just going to go away, which I think is silly, but that's all right. I still think he's a sharp guy. All right, 20% of participants have only invested in XRP, while only for 16.3% of participants, XRP is less than 50% of their portfolio. Most participants that own XRP exclusively own less than 100,000, while 11.5% own more, which that's kind of fascinating. Okay, and so it says, what percent of your crypto asset portfolio is XRP? Presumably they're talking in terms of dollars here. And so, let's see, 46% responded that 76 to 99% of it is in there. And and it would be fun for me. I haven't gone back and done this, especially, and it's always fluctuating because the value of each crypto is changing. So if you're looking in terms of dollars, your percentage of the portfolio is always changing. But for me, I bought some other cryptos in 2017 shortly after I entered. But about a month after I entered, I really was starting to really figure stuff out. And after that, my whole idea behind this is if I'm going to put money in anything else, it's going to be because there's actual utility and there's a belief that it's going to be adopted. And so that's why ever since then, from the beginning of 2018 on, the only cryptocurrency that I purchased is XRP because nothing else is being used. That's it. So if my investment thesis is right, it's going to pay out well. And if I'm wrong, then maybe it won't. But I think that utility matters, and I'm going to stand by that. And if I'm wrong, I can live with it. All right. The vast majority of participants, 78.7%, bought XRP at an average price between 10 cents and 50 cents. Only 2.7% of participants bought XRP at an average price above $1. Okay, so that's not too bad, especially considering that a lot of people jumped in at 2018. Which, frankly, I mean, that was the bear market, and was sliding down pretty much the whole year in terms of price action. So, for me, I did stop once the bear market. It was clear that things were on a downward trend. I did stop buying. I bought when I initially entered. Most of my XRP I purchased around the 20-cent mark, but it went up to almost $4, and then XRP as it was going back down. I was like, oh, okay, I've got another opportunity. Because I was at that point, I was very convinced that crypto was just not going away. And so I waited for it to get lower, and I said, I don't know where the bottom is, so I started dollar cost averaging it in again, because I wanted more XRP. When it got to close to 50 cents, I don't know if I first bought, if it was like 55 cents or something like that, and I was like, okay, it's probably going to go down, but I don't know where the bottom is, so just dollar cost average in. So I bought all the way down from 55 cents down to about 20, I think the lowest I bought it after that was 28 cents, and then I've been buying ever since, so I bought some higher. I bought most of it in the upper 20s to lower 30s since then. I bought even fairly recently just because I don't care about the short-term price action, not really. It's not going to determine whether or not I buy or sell. But I did recently, the highest I bought, it was like the low 40-cent range, and that was, I don't know, a couple weeks or so ago when I bought that. But I don't care about that. To me, it's still a perfectly reasonable price. I think today it's at about 32 cents as I'm recording this here. So, and this is with almost no adoption, with most of the world not knowing about this. So if you believe that crypto is here to stay, behave accordingly. And if you don't, then don't. Don't buy if you don't think it's going somewhere, of course, because this is not financial advice. I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing, or what I have done. And I'm going to keep buying. As soon as it goes parabolic, though, I'm out. As soon as the price goes parabolic at XRP, I'm just going to tap the pause button right there for a little while. Anyway, and then let's read further. When asked how much XRP they currently hold, participants seem to be hesitant to answer, with prefer not to say being the most popular answer. This was expected since most crypto holders are cautious not to divulge the amount of crypto they are holding, making themselves possible targets for scammers, hackers, or thieves. Most participants that replied hold something between 10,000 and 50,000 XRP. That's higher than I would have necessarily guessed, so that's interesting. Okay. If we calculate that every holder holds the minimum amount within the range stated, then the average comes out to 53,337 XRP per participant. But of course, it would only be some, because presumably there would be a number of a smaller quantity of people that just have massive numbers. So if you're talking about average, that's why it would come out to that, if I read that correctly anyway. I'm never going to tell any of you, sorry, we're good friends here, but I will never tell you how much XRP I have. I'll just say that I have some. That's it. I like Alex Cobb's answer. When he's asked, I don't know if he still says, I haven't heard him say it in a while actually, maybe I just missed it, but when he's asked how much XRP he has, he'd always say, not enough, man. I like that answer. That's good. So maybe that should be my answer too. I don't have enough. Right? But a lot of people also, like you see at the top here, prefer not to say. That was the largest group with 89. And then you got 88 that say they have between 10,000 and 25,000 XRP. You've got 62 that have between 25 and 50,000 XRP. And so, yeah, that's I got to tell you, that is definitely more than I thought. They should have. Props to Leonidas for putting this together, but there's a mistake that a lot of people make when they're putting surveys together. You can see the ranges here. Some of the numbers overlap. For instance, here you could respond that you have 25 to 50,000, and you could respond that you have 50,000 to 75,000. So what if you have exactly 50,000? Which one do you click on? Overlap. Everybody makes that mistake, I swear. When everybody makes a survey, there's overlap there. But yeah, if you want precision, you'd have to change that to 50,001 technically. I know, I'm nitpicking, whatever. I'm just pointing it out. But I still appreciate that he did this. So, I mean, at least he had the drive to, like, do this. So we have some data. Anyway. All right. Most participants store their XRP on some type of wallet, but more than 1/4 keep some of their XRP on an exchange. Only 49, however, 10.3%, hold all their XRP on exchanges, even though only 2 of them day trade. So you can see hardware wallet, that's 57.6%, paper wallet, 5.5%, USB drive or other storage media, 6.5%, online web wallet, 10.3%, oh, exchange, 27.8. Guys, can you fix that, please? If you have your XRP on an exchange and you're literally using it for storage, knock it off. Like, don't do that. You're setting yourself up for failure here. You know, the exchanges get hacked. You need to get something. I use a Ledger Nano S. I got mine set up at the end of 2017, and that's where I put all of mine. Ain't nobody getting my XRP, but yeah, please, like, just whatever you do, just don't leave it on an exchange. If you're actually going to be trading it, if you're one of those people, okay, cool, fine, do that. But outside of that, yeah, not such a good idea. All right, most participants own 1 or 2 wallet addresses with an average 1.94 addresses per participant. That's kind of fascinating. So, and you can see the way the data breaks out here on the screen. So, on the reason why they own XRP, I covered this one in the last video, so I'll be real quick with this. Most participants are interested in holding it as an investment, while 3.6% use XRP for day trading, 5.3% for everyday purchases. 8 participants were unbanked. So almost everybody, they are hot on XRP. I count myself among those individuals. What price do you expect XRP to reach in the long run? I covered this, so I'm going to fly through this too. The big news is that over half of the people think that it'll go to at least 100, and many think that it's going to exceed $1,000. And that I didn't cover this part in my last video though, on this topic, but there is a correlation here between the amount of XRP held and the expected future price. So if I'm saying this right, so the less XRP you hold, the higher the price you think it will reach, which I found to be fascinating, just kind of generally speaking here. Despite the fact that 21.3% of participants expect XRP to reach a price of 1,000 at some point, only 2.7% will start selling their XRP at a price higher than $1,000. The most frequent values where participants will start selling their first XRP were at $5 to $10, and that would be 17.3%. And at $10 to $20 per XRP, 20.5% would sell. A very small percentage will start selling below $2, 5.5%, while 3.4% will never sell their XRP. Well, man, perhaps if you're just going to hold forever no matter what. Well, I'm going to hold forever, but not all of it, because I'm confident that if it goes up real high, there's no way that I'm not going to take some profit. There's just no chance. I'm sorry. I have too much fun with this, though, and I believe that decades from now, XRP could be worth like an insane amount, even if it goes parabolic in the next few years, even if that happens. If you were to fast forward like 30 years, man. So that's why I'm thinking, with me being 36, I'm never going to sell all of it. I'm just going to kind of see what happens, because even if volatility goes away, it doesn't mean that there would never be a parabolic run up again. And I just want exposure to it when it happens. So we'll see. That's how I feel now, but it's still early days, so we'll see. Next here, a different narrative occurs for the price that participants would sell their last XRP, where 56.8% will either sell above $1,000 or never. And I fall into the never category. I'm always going to want to keep a bunch. But anyway, that's me. In regards to the year XRP will reach its maximum value, most users believe either 2025, with 21.7% believe that, or 2030, which is 19.2%, with 2022 also being a popular year, 14.1%. And I kind of wish that there were more year options. I mentioned this in the last video too, or at least there were year ranges that you cover more, because I don't believe that it's going to reach its maximum value by 2030. I mean, it'll probably be an outrageous value at some point in the next 11 years. Okay, so don't get me wrong. If I have to guess, yeah, it's probably happening. But I don't know that that's going to be the highest we're ever going to see for the existence of XRP. You know, XRP is going to have staying power, so I can't imagine the next 11 years that's where we're going to see it, and that's it. But that's all the survey allows for. So unfortunately, I think if you had worded a little bit different, then you would have gotten more accurate representation of what people actually think about it. But like for me, I wouldn't be able to respond with what I actually think on that. So anyway, participants seem to be quite confident regarding XRP's future price with an average of 8.37 out of 10 confidence level. How confident are you regarding the price on a scale of 1 to 10? So you can see that, look at the, oh man, people are confident. So that makes me feel good. It's not just me, but that's not too surprising after I read the stat where pretty much everybody's a long-term hodler of XRP. And then here's another question. What do you think must happen in order for XRP to be successful? 81.4% selected regulatory clarity for crypto. 41.4% responded XRP declared not a security. 73.6% responded banks to start using XRP. Interesting. I would not have guessed that. Okay. Maybe they don't mean holding it, though. Using it, yes. Okay, actually, that's not surprising if you literally just mean using it. But even then, like the banks aren't touching it, so it depends on what you mean by use. Use through a third party, okay, yes. Institutions holding XRP, 54.6%. XRP needs to have more use cases, 29.1%. You know what? Fair enough, but every cryptocurrency should have at least one use case. Most don't even have one, so I'll take even just one, okay? 5.7% say Bitcoin must succeed. 3.4% say Bitcoin must die, the polar opposite, okay? Ripple to stop selling XRP, 12%. Man, I don't agree with that one. Let's see here. Increase in XRP ledger scalability, 26.4%. Okay, well, fair enough. What do you think, what use case do you think will generate the biggest demand for XRP? 89.5% bridge asset for cross-border payments. Not surprising. 47% responded micropayments settlement asset. 22.6% responded content monetization settlement assets. And then 17.5% said smart contracts. 20.5% store value. All right, and then I think this is the last one here. Finally, there's a question regarding our tipper program. Most participants that own a website seem to be interested about it. This motivates us to work on the tipper further in order to create additional use case for XRP and increase the amount of XRP tip bot users. And so then they got a percentage breakdown of that there. All right, let's move on to the next thing here. Leonidas tweeted this out. New XRP arcade feature. Want to view the latest content on YouTube by the XRP community? A list of XRP-related YouTube channels sorted by the amount of subscribers. And so here you go. Not surprising. Digital asset investor on the top. I think he's got probably close to 55,000 subscribers, so kudos to him. He is killing it out there. It's impressive, and he's got a great channel. Just scrolling through this here, though. I will say, womp womp, Moon Lambo did not make the cut. The Moon Lambo channel is not on this list here, but I know all these other guys here. But you know what? That's okay. I will say this, and I'm not sure how many of you are aware of this because pretty much all of my subscribers are new at this point. So I launched this channel mid-December of 2018. So it's been almost 8 months. Well, 2 months ago, I had just over 200 subscribers, and as I'm recording this, it's more like 6,200. And so there's just been this crazy growth spurt. And by the way, thank you so much. I'm so humbled by this and completely appreciative. But the reason I'm pointing this out is because I still think most people in the XRP community are not aware of the channel. So even though, like, to me, this is like it's more people than I ever guessed I would have had as subscribers. So again, genuine thanks. But yeah, not surprised I'm not on the list, because most people don't know that I exist. But nonetheless, you should check this out. I do want a link below. I think I follow all of them. I scrolled through. No, I take that back. I don't think I've seen Notorious XRP. I don't think I've seen this channel, so I do need to check that out. I just learned about Aiden a few weeks ago. He's probably the youngest XRP YouTuber out there. Of course, No Bank XRP, Brad Kimes, Love for Crypto, DM, CKJ, Crypto Eddie, To the Lifeboats, Working Money Channel, Jungle Inc., of course. There's the other one, Dusty BC. That one I have not checked out, so I've got two. I got a homework assignment for myself. I also got to check out Dusty BC. Was not aware. So I'm glad that I got to learn about this. But yeah, everyone else I knew about and I listen to regularly. I'm also a big fan of Thinking Crypto, but really all of them I listen to from time to time. really, I'll say this. So I do a lot of driving, like a ton of driving, and so I've always got other XRP YouTubers on in the background. So I listen to pretty much everybody. You know, another one not listed here, unless I missed it. I started listening to Kevin Cage recently too. He's not on the list either. And I think he's got like 12,000 subscribers. His channel's a lot bigger than mine. And but yeah, I guess he's not on the list either. But it's kind of hard to keep track of all this. Like, I mean, my channel is one of the newer ones here, so like I'm not too terribly surprised that I'm lesser known. But yeah, there are even a couple here that like I didn't know about, and I feel like I'm pretty well like I'm on the pulse of the XRP community. Like I feel like that because I spend so much time looking stuff up, and even I didn't know about a couple of these. So I don't know. I do what I can. Here's a tweet from Tone Vase. This guy sucks. Sorry. He tweets out, "You really can't make this S word up. Ripple's success plan: create and pump useless XRP token while keeping 75+% for yourself to sell later to bag holders. Use money to buy stock of failing companies like MoneyGram. Use news to wake up army of brain dead and pump XRP." So we're brain dead apparently. You know, it's not. This is not the first example of a company incentivizing usage of a new technology through, in this case, financial incentive as it pertains to purchasing. You know, there's the stock of MoneyGram. Look, whatever they worked out, it's a mutually beneficial deal, and to belittle the concept of monetary incentives resulting in the adoption of newer technology, like conceptually, do you really, Tone Vase, fundamentally have a problem with that? Because there are all sorts of stuff, like just to get people to adopt credit cards. You know, credit cards weren't always a thing. Like there's like history is just full of examples. I don't have a bunch off the top of my head here, but this is normal. This is absolutely normal. And I mean, you know, they're even like Bitcoin. You know, people used to give away Bitcoin at early Bitcoin meetups. Like you'd show up and they give you like 10 Bitcoin because it wasn't worth a damn thing back then. But, you know, like, just to show you how to get a wallet going on this and stuff like that. So, like, this is not, like, unique to XRP. Doesn't mean there's something fundamentally wrong. And there's actual utility there. So this is stupid. But, you know, Tone Vase, just XRP fudster here. And so thank you to XRP Minimalist on Twitter for tagging me in this. You're the reason that I saw this, so I appreciate it. And he wrote, "Can't wait till the roles are reversed and Bitcoin is affected by XRP price. I'm pretty sure you'll be changing your tune then." And so I do think that XRP certainly has a great chance to be number one in terms of market cap, although at that point there will have been a decoupling, so I don't know how much XRP's price would affect any other coin, not after being decoupled, but I appreciate the sentiment nonetheless, most certainly. All right, last piece, then I gotta wrap up this video. Yeah, it's titled, this is from CoinDesk, "Nexo launches a debit card that lets you not spend your crypto." Arrington XRP capital-backed financial startup Nexo has unveiled a crypto card with a line of credit backed by the user's crypto holdings. Nexo partnered with an unnamed intermediary to issue the card, which offers a way for users to spend the value of their crypto without actually spending it, said the firm partner Antony Trenchev. Unlike other crypto credit cards like the 10x and Crypterium that convert cryptocurrencies to fiat for every transaction, Nexo collateralizes users' crypto and supplies them with a fiat loan of them the same amount. Since its founding, the startup has extended more than $700 million in crypto-collateralized loans to over 200,000 clients. Now, the loans can be used to make purchases at merchants that accept MasterCard through a co-branding. After swiping, an oracle confirms the user has enough collateral to cover the purchase, instantaneously executes a loan, and settles the transaction in fiat. Trenchev claims the card's issuer is licensed with the European Economic Area. Through additional partnerships with intermediaries, Nexo aims to expand to the US and Asia by the end of the year. Yeah, this is fascinating. Tell me what you guys think about this. What about the changing value of crypto? I don't know. You tell me what you think below. I better wrap up this video, though. It's going on a little bit longer than I suspected it would. So I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!